we're going to get to this. We're going to get moving right along. And before we get to it, we're also going to mention that we are doing a lot of this today to help raise a little bit of money for the SPCA, the Humane Society. And there's a donate button right down in that little, or down in the bottom there, and where you read all the descriptions. So check that out. And while you're looking at that, let's check a little video and see what's happening at the SPCA. All right, so we're going to find out a little more about the SPCA as the show goes on. But right now, we're going to get to our first entertainer, a good friend of mine, Chris Stoltz. We're going to welcome to the stage. Chris, how you doing there, buddy? Welcome to the show. Hey, Chris, can you hear us?
Hi, Greg. Hi, everybody out there. It's great to be on the show.
Welcome to the show. Chris, tell us, what's your biggest inspiration? What inspires you?
Wow, that's a question. What inspires me? You know what? For me, it's anytime I see an artist or a performer doing what they love, what they do best, and just pouring their heart and soul into it. Whether it's a magician or a singer or a painter, I just love to watch people do what they do.
That's cool. And what type of magic's your favorite type of magic? Let the audience know.
You know what? For me, I'm one of those guys who likes the small stuff all the way up to the big stuff. I think for me, home base is definitely the gambling act. I love that sneaky, sly gambler persona mixed with a magician. For me, I think it makes for great entertainment.
Very cool. All right, Chris, take it away.
Well, I thought I'd tell you a little story. It's a story of how I began as a magician. You see, everyone has their version of this story, and for me, it starts with my grandfather, Grandpa John. He was an amateur magician, and he used to come over and perform tricks for the kids, and he would take a coin, and he would make the coin disappear. And me, I would run out into the back lawn and try to find it. And he'd come back in, and I'd come back in, and he'd pull it from my ear or something. And one day, just for fun, he decided to try to teach it to the kid. And to everyone's surprise, it worked. And of course, I reached behind Mom or Dad's ear and produced the coin. And that began a lifetime of practice and study and performing. And now, looking back, knowing the mechanical elements of the art, I always still wonder, is there perhaps just a little bit of magic left in that coin? Tonight, we're going to find out. So whatever you do, don't take your eyes off that box. Well, thank you so much for having me on, Greg. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for welcoming me into your home tonight. I wish you all a great evening, and take care of those pets, okay?
Awesome. Wow, that was a great way to start our show off. Thanks again, Chris, for joining us today. Not only that, for those that don't know, Chris is a good friend of mine. He helped organize and help me get this all together. So once again, Chris, appreciate your help for that, and this is going to be a great event today. Well, let's continue on. We're going to keep this flowing pretty quick today, keep you guys entertained. Going to bring to the stage a good friend of mine who's been on this stage to fill in when I'm not here. A good friend of mine, David DaVinci. Let's say hi, David. David, are you there? How you doing?
Hey Greg, doing great, man. Thanks for having me. I love hearing what you're doing. This is awesome. Thanks for having me be part of the project.
No problem, Dave. Love having you here. Tell us a little bit about your bird tricks.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Birds are the #3 most popular pet in the world, but the #1 most rehomed. And so together, my wife and I, Jamie, we travel around the world performing our magic and then also helping people with our online training company, whether it's over the internet or in person. But it's really cool because through education and enrichment, we're able to help with our philosophy of saving parrots one person at a time. And it's amazing during this time to see all of our friends and family and fans really step up to the plate, help each other out, and help out birds and pets all over the world. It's really fulfilling.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks, Dave. And I know you travel a lot. Tell us a little bit about where you've been.
Well, I was scheduled to be down in Australia right now as we speak, which got canceled. But we've been traveling all over Mexico, Australia, really all over the U.S. with our national fundraiser tour. But lately, we've just been at home in our studio here producing lots of content for our Bird Tricks community, where it's been great because we spend a lot more time with the birds, a lot more time as a family, and ultimately we're trying to do the best we can for everybody's pets.
Well, awesome. Thanks, Dave. And you know what? He's a great guy. Well, Dave, let's show us some magic and let's entertain these people. Take it away, Dave.
Awesome. Well, today I've got a little piece of magic. Get some music going. Got a little piece of magic that my grandpa actually taught me. You see, he was a pretty well-known gospel singer by the name of Merrill Womack. But he also tried his hand at ventriloquism and a little bit of magic. One day when I was 8 years old, he took out this little piece of rope from a little bag and he showed me one of the most amazing pieces of magic that I'd ever seen. And today, I hope you enjoy. Hey, thanks a bunch for having me, Greg. Keep up doing the awesome things you're doing there. And everybody watching, thank you guys for helping support such an amazing cause and taking part in this really fun, interactive show. See you guys.
All right, so that was a lot of fun, and we're going to keep the show moving, bring out our next guest all the way from lovely England, way across the pond, my good friend, Jamie Allen. How you doing, Jamie?
Hey Greg, I'm doing great, thanks very much. We're over here in London, we're staying indoors, we're staying healthy, and we are staying positive. That's the most important thing, I reckon.
Well, that's great. And tell us, what are you doing since you've been locked up inside?
Yeah, so I'm doing what I think a lot of our colleagues are doing. I'm working on new magic. There are 2 routines that have not made it into my show 3 years in a row. So I'm working really hard on those, and another routine as well. So we're spending a lot of time on the R&D on those. And also, like yourself, we're working on a streaming show, which we put the first one out last week, a streaming show on Fridays on our Facebook page, and we're having a great time with that. And it's so much fun. And at the moment, dare I say it, it's an exciting time, you know, for the creatives, and we're trying to make the most of it. I think that's the best we can do. Stay positive, as I said.
Yeah, that's true. Tell us about iMagician.
So iMagician is my baby. That is my touring theatre show. So we started that off in the UK 3 years, and then we took it into the West End of London, and then we took it across the pond, and we managed to get to Chicago and on a tour. We did a big run in Chicago, which was a big success for us, and then we went on to Houston, Texas. We just did a big run in Houston. It's
Nice.
a show mixing classic illusion mixed with sleight of hand, comedy, and importantly, high technology. It's trying to find a new way of looking at an age-old art form. We can't wait until this whole thing is behind us and we can get back across and bring our show back to the States.
Well, that's great. Well, Jamie, all the way from England, let's show us some really cool magic.
Thanks, Greg. So I want to show you something today which is like a classic of magic. Now, normally I do magic with technology, but I think this is very relevant to the current situation because in the UK, we get most of our news online. About 85% of people in London read the news online. Now, I reckon that figure is probably really high right now because people aren't even going out to the shops, you know, on devices like iPads and Kindles and the such like. So if I'm going to show you what is essentially a fairly old trick, we have to use a little bit of imagination. Now, this is really far more of an illusion than it is any kind of a magic trick. Because, you know, in our game, people always say, you know, what's the difference between a magician and an illusionist? And I always think the main difference between a magician and an illusionist is around about $150,000. But if you're talking about the word illusion in the context of a magic show, people always think of an illusion like some kind of box, you know, that somebody climbs inside, like we both use. But an illusion is just something that looks like it's happening when it isn't, which I'm going to demonstrate to you with these couple of sheets of newspaper here, and nothing else. Now, I call this illusion the illusion of the torn paper. And I gave this such an imaginative title because it's an illusion. I never really tear the newspaper, but I practice, obviously. So it looks like I'm tearing it. I shall demonstrate. It's convincing, yeah? Now, there will be some viewers that are watching this thinking, well, no, I was watching, he definitely did just tear the paper, but I didn't. It's an illusion. Look, I shall do it again. Now you can see that the visual, you know, it's so compelling, it's so convincing that it almost tricks your other senses. You know, if you listen, you think you can hear it. Now, I always get people coming up to me after shows saying that they're convinced that they can see, you know, individual pieces of the newspaper. Idiots. It's just an illusion. Because this whole time the newspaper is still completely undamaged, whole, just as when we started. Thanks very much, everybody, and thanks for having me on your show, Greg. You see, because there is the newspaper look. Here's the front page, here's the middle, here's the back, and that is how it works. Again, Greg, thanks so much. Best of luck with this. It's a great thing that you're doing, and I hope to speak to you soon. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate you coming all the way from the UK and helping us out for a great cause. And that was awesome. Love your magic, pal. All right, so we're going to keep moving on. And this next magician, before I introduce him, he's a creator. He's an excellent magician. He's also created a lot of magic. One of those tricks he's allowed me to perform for you today. So I'm going to show you a bit of magic. Can we do it? All right, here we go. Thank you very much. And once again, that comes from the creator and good friend of mine, Kevin James, who's here with us today. So, without further ado, let's bring him to the stage here. Kevin James, how you doing, Kevin?
Hi, Greg. The family and I are all doing fine. We're here in Las Vegas, just kind of chilling and getting organized and working on new material and trying to just prepare for when this little vacation is over.
Awesome. Very cool to have you on the show, and I know you work on the Illusionist Tour. It's a great tour. Can you tell us a little bit about the tour?
Yeah, so Greg, as you know, I've been with the Illusionist from the beginning, 8 years ago, and it's kind of grown into this global brand. And for the time being, all the tours are finished. They're on a hiatus. All the Cirque du Soleil shows, all those tours are down at the moment. All of Las Vegas is closed. All the casinos are closed. All the shows in Las Vegas are closed. So every performer I know is taking some time off. So I can only imagine how much new material people are working on during this time. So it's going to be kind of exciting when all this starts back up again. Now, I've been lucky enough to travel to a lot of different countries, 109 so far. And like you, I have a lot of international friends, and one of my friends in China does a beautiful act that's full of old, classic, historical Chinese magic. And he was kind enough to teach me one of these things so that I could share it with everyone here. So I've never done this before. I've just kind of worked it up for this show, and I'm excited to try it. And just remember, you're watching a little piece of history. When this was created 300 years ago, the most amazing thing that a magician could do for his audience would be to make food appear. Everybody needed food, and so it was kind of a big deal back then. And I'm kind of moving in the opposite direction in my personal life. I'm on a big diet. I've lost about 40 pounds so far in the last 2 months. So I'm excited to try this new thing for you. All right. So hope I don't mess it up.
This is going along awesome. I'm having such a great time, and I can't wait. Maybe we'll do this again because this has been a lot of fun. And I hope you guys are having as much fun as we're having here. Everyone is at home with their families, and I know this is a hard time. So this has been a lot of fun for us to be able to do. And we're going to move on now and bring you one of my good friends here from Canada, whose name's Ryan Joyce. He's all over the internet. He's got some great videos. He's also been on Penn & Teller. And we're going to bring him here and talk to him live and find out a little bit of other things that he likes besides magic. Let's see if we can. Ryan, what do you think besides magic? What are some of your hobbies or things you like to do?
I've always loved photography and filmmaking, and as you know, with the travel lifestyle in this entertainment industry, there's a lot of downtime. So I would find myself sitting in the hotel room or the airport, kind of bored. So I got interested in making videos that I put on YouTube. So
cool.
A couple of years ago, my good friend, magician friend, asked if I would look after his puppy for a few days while he went and traveled, and well, this is what happened.
Wow. Well, this is my, I've been waiting for this moment, and Ryan has so graciously allowed us to show this. It's a video off his YouTube page, so this one's not live, but it'll be live here in our studio or on our stage. And if you want to go down into the description right below here, there'll be a little link you can click on to check his video out and some of his other stuff. But right now, we're going to bring you that magical trick with his little puppy right here.
This is my buddy's dog, Jack. I am babysitting for the week. If you couldn't tell, Jack is probably the ugliest bulldog you've ever seen, which is good because he's a boxer. Which means every time the doorbell rings, he goes and sits in the corner.
He's a pretty smart little popsicle. I wanted to see how long it would take him to catch on to some of my tricks. It's not there. I told you. All this dancing sure got Jack moving.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Wow, that's amazing. And you know what? I'm really jealous because Ryan's a close friend of mine, but I'll tell you, I really wish I thought of that idea. But we have something as cool right here with us today in our online studio live here. We've got a little puppy of our own we're going to bring out, and we're going to introduce you to John Greer, who's the executive director of the Niagara SPCA Humane Society. So if I can bring him out, come on out, John. And we got a little special guest. Oh, look at him.
Hi, Greg.
How you doing?
Good, yourself?
He's great. How old
Yeah.
is he?
He's about 9 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about this little guy.
So he's one of our Manitoba dogs. He actually came in from Manitoba about 4 weeks ago. So he's in the shelter currently being cared by our animal care staff. And yeah, they're just quiet little guys just looking for their forever homes. And when this is all over, we'll make sure they find them.
He is a cutie. And you guys, I can tell you because I know you very well, John. We talk all the time. I know what it's, in these times, there's a lot of things that need to have happen. How are the times for the SPCA right now?
So yeah, so we're an essential service right now. So our animal care staff are still in there providing the care for all of the animals in our care from the Niagara region. And another program we just launched to our vulnerable communities are the community engagement team. So they're currently going out, seniors, vulnerable people that are maybe on self-isolation, and we deliver a bag of dog food or cat food or some litter right to their door. We're still practicing social distancing. They drop it at the door. They can take them in. And our guys have been really busy out on the roads doing that for the community.
Well, that's a great help. And I know in these times we always forget sometimes about the little ones, and we got to make sure we take care of these guys, right?
Yeah, somebody's got to look after them, that's for
Awesome.
sure.
Well, we thank you for that. That's
And
great.
yeah, and listen, Greg, I'd like to say a very sincere thank you to all you and all of the other great magicians that have come together for this program. It's just excellent. We
And you know
really,
what,
really
John, what
appreciate
was
it.
great about that, and we really appreciate that, when I contacted some of these guys, nobody hesitated. As a matter of fact, I'm getting emails now from other friends saying, hey, I want to be a part. Are we doing a second one? So
Hey,
see how this goes.
great.
You never know. We may do a second one and maybe have you back here with another little cute guy.
Terrific. We
I
appreciate
tell you what,
it.
we have a little video, I think, of the food drive that you've been doing.
Yep.
You want to have a look at that real
Let's
quick?
have a look at
All
that.
right, let's see if we can get a hold of that little video. We got that? All right, let's show it. Well, this has been awesome. I'm having so much fun today. I hope you guys are having a great time, and we got lots more magic to go. As a matter of fact, a friend that's coming up, he owns his own theater as well in the Wisconsin Dells. His name's Rick Wilcox. He's going to tell us what his favorite thing and why he likes illusions, his favorite illusions. Rick, what's your favorite illusion?
You know what? It's always changing my favorite illusion because every year we get to work on new things and I get to work with some of the best people in the industry to work out the illusions. But the most memorable and most fun parts are when we bring people from the audience to participate in a trick because you can never predict what's going to happen.
That's true.
And it's always different. And sometimes those are just the funniest things. And that's the best part we like every time.
Well, that's cool, Rick, and he's going to show us some really cool illusions right now. Rick, take it away. Okay, what happened? Is he done? Do we miss Rick? Oh, his feed got cut off? All right, well, okay, moving on. That was Rick Wilcox. Thanks for being here, Rick, live with us at the Greg Frewin Theater. And we got lots more show coming, lots of great magicians still ahead, so stay tuned. And we're now going to bring to our stage a good friend of mine, Leonardo Bruno. He's here with us today. Leonardo, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, Greg. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's a great pleasure to be with you in this great cause that you are promoting. Thank you.
Hey, no problem, buddy, and thanks for being here. I know you're on the Illusionist Tour, which is a great tour of magic. What is your character? What is your part in the Illusionist show?
Well, in the show, we have 7 illusionists, each one with a different moniker. We have the scapologist, the inventor, like Kevin James, the manipulator, the big illusionist, the showman. I am the alchemist.
Well, awesome. Well, Leonardo, thanks for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's bring to the stage Leonardo Bruno. Take it, Leonardo.
Hey, Greg. Yeah, I'm ready. Let me just take my jacket off. Sorry, it's usually this moment when women scream, so it threw me off, but doesn't matter. Let's do it. Hey guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed, and if you can, please donate. Thank you, Greg. See you next time.
Wow, this is amazing. This show is flowing along so great, and you know what? These guys are amazing, and I'm having a great time. But right now, we're going to get to our next act. A good friend of mine, Charles Bach. Charles, you there?
Hi, Greg. Thanks so much for having me on the show. It's very exciting to be here. It's good to be home. I get to bake bread and play soccer with my son and be home with the family. It's really awesome. But I do miss an audience, and thanks for creating one so we can all perform.
Hey, no problem. You know what? Charles and I have known each other for years. He's an amazing guy. But we also taped the same day on Penn and Teller. Tell us about that, Charles.
Yes, so being on Penn and Teller was one of the best experiences ever. It is one of the best magic shows on television, if probably not the best, where they treat the performers with real respect and let you perform your routine from beginning to end, just like it would be in a live performance.
That's right.
And they're very respectful. They never give away any secrets, and they actually encourage the art of magic in the best way possible. It really was the most wonderful experience. And if you want to see what I did, it's on YouTube, and you can still see the routine I did on the show. See if I fool you.
Awesome. And you know what? We talked a lot about last year. Tell us about last year. I know there's a lot of exciting things that happened.
So one of my favorite experiences from last year was actually getting to have my own theater, my own show in a theater in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's now called the Wonders Theater. And it's at the Broadway at the Beach, which is a very popular tourist attraction in South Carolina. And it's a show filled with magic, dance, comedy, grand illusion. I've got giant puppets. The lighting is incredible, and we've got beautiful theater to perform in. And you're the reason that I actually made it happen. I went to Magic Live, and together we sat down, and I said, I want you to talk me out of having my own theater.
That's right.
And you said, I'm going to talk you into it, and I'm going to talk you out of it. And that's exactly what you did. You gave me the good and the bad, and it was an incredible experience. More work than I've ever done in my entire life. I would say this much of it was the performing side of it, and this much was everything else.
For sure.
It is so much work, but so exciting and a great experience, and I hope you'll come see our great show, a full family show in Myrtle Beach this summer for our second season.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Charles Bach, take it to the stage, buddy.
So now I get a chance to perform for you. It's just going to be me, some wine glasses, a deck of cards, and some pure sleight of hand. Now let's see, if we were to play a little card game, what would be the best four of a kind you could hope for? 4 aces? Let's see what we can do about that. 1, 2, 3, 4 aces. Well, that's a pretty good start to a card game. But that's not enough cards for what I'm about to show you. I have to add a few more to the pack. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But that's a lot of cards for everybody to keep track of. So I'm not going to ask you to keep track of all of them, just these, the 4 aces. Ace of hearts, ace of clubs, ace of diamonds, and ace of spades. Ace of hearts. One, two, three, four. Gone. Ace of clubs. Ace of Diamonds. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show, and I'll see you soon in Myrtle Beach.
All right, so we're getting near the end of the show today, and this has been awesome. I've had a great time. This is the first time we've done this, and it's kind of neat, but also kind of weird that we don't have a live audience. So we hope you guys at home are enjoying this. And once again, down there in that description, there's a little button. Click it. It's kind of cool. It'll help us get some donations for the SPCA. So when I asked people to be on this, and especially the fact we were doing this for the Humane Society, my friend John Dornbos, when I said, hey, do you want to be on this? He said, this is an awesome idea. I'm 100% in. So let's go and find out a little bit, see if John's with us today. And how you doing, John?
This is totally rockstar, Greg. Thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. So I'm doing great, man.
Awesome, cool. And you know, John, for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about you and your magic.
Well, yeah, my name's John Dornbos, and due to probably royalty and licensing, I can't show that, but I'm this guy right here. I was the guy that played in the NFL for 14 years. I played for the Buffalo Bills, the Tennessee Titans, Philadelphia Eagles, and then I ended my career with the New Orleans Saints. I did a show called America's Got Talent, and it worked out for me. I made it to the finals, and then I got invited to be a contestant on America's Got Talent, the Champions Edition. I was a finalist on that as well. And then shortly after, Ellen DeGeneres picked me up. She's had me on her show a bunch, and it's been amazing. So I perform full time now, and I do a lot of corporate speaking, which is kind of like a core business of mine, which I really, really enjoy.
Well, that's really cool. And you know, how was your magic with the NFL when you were playing football? How did that go?
Being a magician in the NFL is rock star, and I loved it. I mean, one, playing in the NFL was amazing, but two, being a magician is really cool, and being a magician with the platform of the NFL. So my wife and I would get invited to a bunch of cool parties and cool events, and they weren't only getting a professional athlete, they were getting a magician. So it was kind of like the double whammy. So I got to meet a lot of people, and magic kind of made me stand out.
Well, that's cool. You know what, John? Tell us a little bit about Ellen. You said earlier you were on her show?
No question, Ellen's been unbelievable for my career. So not only have I been able to perform a bunch on her show, but she actually gave me my own show called Let Me In So You Can Win. It's a game show where we come to your neighborhood, we come to your house.
Nice.
And we get different neighbors or families to compete against each other for a chance to win tens of thousands of dollars. And you know, we've even given away new cars.
Wow, that's so cool. Well, John, you're a dear friend of mine. Thanks for doing this. We're going to have John show us some really cool magic. Check it out.
Here we go. All right, I need a few cards picked. So let's use let's use a three of spades. Let's use a five of hearts, and how about an eight of clubs and a king of diamonds? That'll work perfect. So we got 4 cards picked. If you were here, you'd be picking these cards out, but guess what? Unfortunately, you're not, so I guess I'm going to have to do that. When I was a kid, getting into magic, my favorite tricks always involved torn and restored. It didn't matter if they were tearing up a newspaper. It didn't matter if it was a napkin. Whatever it was, I love the idea of tearing things up and putting it back together. So we're going to use a 3 of spades here, like this. But my favorite, of course, has always been the torn and restored card. And what I never liked about it is you're tearing something up to putting it back together the exact same way it started. And for me, in life, magic was an outlet. Magic was an escape to kind of get through a young part of my life. And so I found this, that when I fall and when I struggle, I never get back the same. In fact, there's people that have inspired me. There's people that have lifted me up. And there's people that have encouraged me. And when I've stood myself back up from struggling in life, I've taken a piece of them with me. So really, you never rebuild the same. Greg, I want to thank you for putting this event together. It's been amazing. And let's be honest, there's a lot of moving parts here. So we're going to do a torn and restored card trick where we are going to take pieces of the 3 of spades, the 5 of hearts, the 8 of clubs, and the ever so famous king of diamonds. And we are going to put a card together with a piece from each. Watch. We are going to start with 2 pieces, the 5 of hearts and the 8 of clubs. All right. 5 of hearts, 8 of clubs. Watch. Like I just mentioned, a lot of moving parts. Thank you, Greg, and thank you to Greg's team for organizing this and bringing us all together. That was the first step in making this whole thing possible. Greg and your team, you guys are rock stars. Now, to the magicians, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, putting me on the ballot. I've been a huge fan of Greg Frewin since I was about 13 years old. So to the magicians out there, here we go, baby. I got a spot right here. King of Diamonds representing the magicians. Watch. King of Diamond, baby, right here. And as you guys can see, the magicians, just like that. Now, I wish you guys were here. I wish you guys could actually feel this card to see that there's no staples, there's no magnets, there's no glue, there's no tape, there's nothing. This is a real card. If you see me perform live, you'll see me do this. You can touch this and feel it. But before I get ahead of myself, you're gonna, I think we all can see that there's a missing corner here. I know. And this is designated for the most important part of this show. And that's all of you, the fans, the people watching, and the people that have donated for this great cause. So I got a spot right here for the 3 of spades representing the fans. Here we go. 3 of spades. Watch. And as you can all see, this 3 would fit perfect right there. But that's boring. Come on, baby. It's time to spice it up a little bit. Here's to all of you. Greg, thank you again for bringing us all together. May every one of us continue to be great. May every one of us continue to be kind. May every one of us make a difference. This is how a torn or restored card should be. 4 different segments of the world coming together to do a great cause. I love you guys. My name's John Dornbos. Peace out, baby.
Man, that was awesome. Thanks, John. Really appreciate that. You blew me away, man. That's one of John's original effects. And man, he's a creative guy and a great guy. And we thank you for being on the show. When I asked John, he immediately said, hey, if this is to help out animals, I am in. And so we appreciate that, John Dornbos. And we hope we'll see you again on one of our shows down the road. And we're hoping to do this again. We had a lot of fun today. We're getting near the end of our show. Once again, I want to point down to that description box right below. There'll be a link for the SPCA. I know it's tough times. I'm not asking for everybody. I know some people won't be able to afford to do this. But for those that might have a few extra dollars, every little bit helps. These animals need just a little bit of help from us in these hard times, and we hope we can do a little bit for them. You guys have been a great crowd out there. We hope you had a great time today. One day I hope to see you out here in our theater, sitting in those seats live and seeing our show live. We can't wait to see you. So, on that note, thanks again for joining us. Keep in touch. We will hopefully be doing this again, and we had a lot of fun. We're going to finish off with one of my favorites. Here we go. Thanks a lot, guys. Boy, that was a lot of fun. We hope you guys had a great time. We hope to see you guys again here at the Greg Frewin Theater live. One day here, for real live. Thanks again, guys.